Thank you. Hello and welcome into Oregon Trail Park. As you listen into Pioneers Baseball, I'm your voice of the Pioneers, Jeffrey Nelson, as we are just 15 minutes away from the second game of an exhibition series for the Western Nebraska Pioneers as they take on the Australian Select Colts, full of a bunch of team and players that come from outside of the states. A lot of kids from Australia, as well as kids being from the United Arab Emirates and Doha, Qatar, as one of the players is from, for the Australian Select Colts here as they travel around the East Coast, and soon they'll make their way, the West Coast, and soon they'll make their way east to take on more teams across the country. Now, usually we start our pregame show with our sideline reporter, Anna Semba. Today is her birthday, so she'll throw out the first pitch here at Oregon Trail Park, and we wish her a happy birthday as well. So we'll talk more about the Pioneers and what happened last night. The Pioneers found their way back into the win column in the exhibition game against the Colts, who are an extremely young team, as we just mentioned, and they're playing most of the teams in the Rocky Mountain Baseball League. They were just in Fort Collins the other day, and soon they'll travel to play a couple other teams in the Rocky Mountain Baseball League. But the bats came alive for the Pioneers with the likes of Luke Noak, E.J. Barnes, Aiden Young, and Cole Weiland all leading the charge with the Pios, scoring runs often and early. And I say often and early because it started in the first with a 2-run first inning on a walk to Kieran Gaffney and a 4-pitch walk to Luke Noak. After a fly ball by Francisco Laya that saw both players move up, 2 wild pitches by the starter Lachlan Forder, who starts today in the outfield as Gavin Clenert was scratched from the lineup late because he is not feeling well. That sees Forder in the lineup, but yesterday he was on the mound. He gave up the first 2 runs, and he pitched in the second inning as well, in which he gave up a double to E.J. Barnes, who saw himself get hot at the plate as he was 3 for 3 yesterday. And EJ came around to score after stealing third base on an RBI walk by Francisco Laya. Turned to the third, and that saw the Pioneers push across 2 more runs on an infield single by Jake Maroney and a single to right center field by E.J. Barnes. That gave him an RBI that allowed Maroney to score. And 2 more stolen bases for E.J. Barnes, pushing his total of stolen bases on the day to 3. And an RBI single to left field by Coy Carpenter saw Barnes cross the plate. Again in the 4th inning, as I mentioned, they were hot often and early in scoring runs. The Pioneers put up a 5 spot in the bottom of the 4th as Anna Simba gets ready to throw her first pitch out on the field. And soon we'll have her for her interview with Kieran Gaffney down on the field. 5 runs in the bottom of the 4th for the Pioneers. Came on a walk by Noak and a single by Laya, and it was a 2 RBI double for pinch hitter Aiden Young, who smoked the ball to left center. Now we'll get ready for Anna Sembo, who just got finished with her warm-up pitch, as she's down on the field with Kieran Gaffney, and she's going to talk to Gaffney about the opportunity for him being in the leadoff spot recently. Gaffney has been in the leadoff spot, as I mentioned, for a bunch of games after he got scratched from the lineup for the Pioneers. And, of course, yesterday he was not in the he was in the starting lineup. He had a walk, a strikeout, and a fly out to center. And so we're just getting ready for Anna down on the field in 1 second. And then we'll be ready. So I'm going to throw it down to the field to Anna Semba, who's down on the field with Kieran Gaffney.
Okay, let's just go for it. Alrighty, I'm here with Kieran Gaffney. Pioneers won last night, and now they're heading to play game 2 against the Select Colts. You've been, these past couple games, the first up on the lineup. So how does that feel mentally, knowing that you're, leading off?
It's been good. I've never hit leadoff in my life, so this has been a first. But I mean, just being one of the ones to hit first for the team and get the game started is really fun. Been a lot of fun.
And, winning last night after being on the road and not being too hot, how does that feel for the momentum going forward for this team?
It's been good. It was a rough trip. 1-5, lost 2 close games and got killed the others. But it was good for the team. We got humbled a little bit, but we're back.
And then how does it feel to be back home on the home field?
It's been great. Hometown, crowd, it's awesome. We're going to keep it rolling, and we got a bunch of games here, so it'll be a lot of fun.
And then my final question is, you guys have been playing for almost a month now. Have you gone super close with any of the teammates specifically or the whole team in general?
We've all gotten close, It's been nice to meet a lot of the guys. I work with a couple of the guys, so it's been fun. Just a great group, really. Great group.
Alrighty, thank you so much. We're going to tune back into Jeffrey Nelson, who's going to be the voice of the Pioneers and giving you the rest of the show from the press box.
All right, thank you, Anna. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll come back and talk more about the pregame show as we get set for Game 2 of an exhibition series against the Australian Select Colts as you listen to Pioneers Baseball here on KNEB Radio and on the Western Nebraska Pioneers YouTube page. Anna, are you on this channel? Here as we get set, we're on the High Plains Spas and Recreation pregame show for the Western Nebraska Pioneers here at Oregon Trail Park as they get set to take on the Australian Select Colts, who wear their white uniforms today as the Pioneers wear black uniforms. As we're getting set for the second game of an exhibition series for the Western Nebraska Pioneers as they take on this young team in the Australian Select Colts here at Oregon Trail Park. Now the Pioneers, as Anna mentioned, they come back home, and you heard Kieran Gaffney talk a little bit about what it's like to be back home in front of the crowd. And, of course, he knows guys on the team, and he's close with guys like Bryce Peterson and Jackson Yeager as well. But also just being at home, staying with your host family, and just being able to go around the city in your own cars and talk to your teammates and enjoy the time when you're not having to be at Oregon Trail Park playing a game. And, of course, there are 2 new guys on the team. That's Andrew Landis and Rowan O'Connor, and we'll look to see everybody tonight. But last night, we saw both of those kids take the mound, and it was 2/3 of an inning for Rowan O'Connor, who got a strikeout on 9 pitches, and Andrew Landis was the first out of the bullpen, second pitcher in the game for the Pioneers, in relief of Paul Panduro, who struggled a little bit. He has a little bit of arm fatigue, so we'll see the next time that he pitches. But 2 innings, 1 hit, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts for Landis, who ended up throwing 43 pitches. And Coach Jay O'Connor talked about how Landis had pitched 5 days prior to hitters, and so it was a little bit easier for him to pitch last night as well. And they have a plan for the next 5, and it's a good starting rotation with the true starter each day. Jaden Onaka will get the ball tomorrow, with Brody Fanestad getting the ball on Monday, as our PA address announcer Bill Sheffield announces the Pioneers lineup, which, of course, I'll go over in about 5 minutes when we get set for Pioneers baseball here on KNEB Radio. But more about from Coach Jay O'Connor And they put Andrew Landis out there to see what he could do on the mound. Of course, he had said he'd pitched 5 days prior to hitters, but they'll look to have him as a long relief guy. And he seems good and used to close proximity and being able to pitch in situations in which you are not expecting to pitch. Now today, Landis gets the start out there in left field. So the shortstop, who's going to be a freshman at Oakland University, is not playing his natural position yet as we get set for both the Australian and the American national anthems. I turn it over to our PA address announcer, Bill Sheffield, and then we'll go to break and come back for Pioneers baseball.
Jordan's worked in special education for 24 years. She taught special education at Lowell High School for 14 years. And she's currently the special education program coordinator at ESU 13, where she coordinates the Meridian School, Light Link program, and Panhandle New Beginnings. Baseball fans, please give a huge round of applause for Toby and Julie Black. Now, Pioneer fans, we ask that you please rise and remove your hats and join Toby and Julie Black as we present first the Australian national anthem, followed by our national anthem, sung tonight by Emily Keaton.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what's so hardly here at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watch were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket trembling, the bomb bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
A job well done by a member of our game day crew here at Oregon Trail Park. And time is 6:34, so you know what time it is. For those listening on KNEB Radio and on the Western Nebraska Pioneers YouTube page, we thank you for listening to the High Plains Spas and Recreation pregame show. But it's time for Pioneers baseball, which starts now. here as we get set for first pitch here at Oregon Trail Park. On the mound is the Weslaco, Texas native, Alejandro Castillo. He gets the start today. He was in relief a couple times on the road trip, was Castillo. He went in 2/3, gave up 2 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. Being out of the bullpen seemed to help his numbers in terms of getting his walk rate down, which he struggled with as a starter in his first couple starts. But 5th appearance on the season for Alejandro Castillo, young man from Texas. He's the ball here in game 2 of the exhibition series against the Australian Select Colts. And here we go. Cody Vandergraaf steps to the box in the first pitch. He's inside, maybe a bit low. It's ball 1 to start the game. Cody Vandergraaf, Zach Durbin, Grady Smith. The scratched Gavin Planert is replaced by Lachlan Ford. That's strike 1 from Castillo as he gets fastball over the plate. For strike 1, as he starts the ball game here. First pitch is at 6:36 local time here in Gering, Nebraska. 1-1. It's on the outside corner. It's 1-2. Top of the first pitch being at 6:37. Our temperature as we start the ball game here in Gering. First batter of the game, Cody Vandergraaf has a 1-2 count. Castillo deals a breaking ball outside. 2-2 now. 89 degrees. 89 degrees. Temperature as we start this one. The sun is out. Saturday night baseball. Western Nebraska Pioneers. The 2-2 pitch is fouled off by Vandergraaf. Finished the lineup quickly for the Select Colts. Lachlan Forder replaces Gavin Planert. He's outfield. Ethan Ward, Jackson Frame, Jason Ludeman, and Ryan Barnes. A lot of the names similar to the names that you would have heard last night. This is a small roster for the Select Colts team. We want all the guys that are on the team to get as much action as possible. Getting action here in the leadoff spot is Cody Vandergraaf leading off the ball game. Last night he was 2 for 3 with a walk. BG's batting gloves. He swings it from the right side. Does the left fielder last night. He's playing first base tonight. It takes up high. It's 3-2 from Castillo to start the ball game. Payoff pitch. Bounced over towards short. Rowan O'Connor is the shortstop today for the Pioneers, and he throws it over to first baseman Brody Fanistock, who records the first out, and Castillo avoids walking the first batter of the ball game as he gets out number 1. In the outfield, it's Landis, Weiland, and Mooser left to right, and third to first in the infield, Burgess. You saw Rowan O'Connor, one of the newest Pioneers. Carson Bevel gets the start at second. Brody Fanistock is at first. The batter is Zach Durbin. Castillo deals a fastball outside corner, called strike 1. Catching Castillo is Wyatt Buckley behind the plate. The catcher gets his second start behind the plate for the Pioneers. The 1-0-1, is in there for a strike, I believe. The umpire only gives a sign right in front of his body. He just throws a fist up for his strike ball instead of pointing to the side. So sometimes it might be hard to tell balls and strikes. This ball's hitting the air to left. Andrew Landis, the other newest Pioneer. Well, there you go. The first 2 outs are recorded by the 2 newest Western Nebraska Pioneers as Landis goes to his right and in a little bit and makes the play, recording out number 2 out there in left field, and Durbin is retired. Ryan Clark comes to the plate now. He's been playing with the Select Colts team for a long time. He's from Portland, Oregon. He's the son of Mr. Clark, who runs this organization along with Steve Fish. First pitch from Castillo's low and away. Decent crowd, not a fill-the-park night, so not as large of a crowd as we had last night, but down and away with pitch number 2 there is Castillo, so it's 2-0 on Ryan Clark, who I talked to after the game last night. He said he enjoys being able to come out here and play. He is typically a catcher, and that's where he is behind the plate tonight. He didn't even know he was going to be pitching yesterday, but he hopped on the mound. That pitch is well up and in, but it's called a strike behind the plate. So the count is 2-1 here as we're just underway here at Oregon Trail Park Stadium. Alejandro Castillo on the mound for the Pioneers has gotten the first 2 outs. He deals a 2-1, lined up the middle. O'Connor makes a stab to his left, spins, throws to first. Fanistock with the stretch at first, and a great play by Rowan O'Connor as he retires Ryan Clark. 1-2-3 inning for Castillo on the mound. We head to the bottom of the first. The Pioneers are coming to bat. We have no score. Sounds like it's echoing in my ears. Hey, can you check this room, make sure it's not echoing? Because it just sounds like it's echoing in my ears for some reason. Yeah. Which, like, it never does because I just have the local so, like, it just sounds like it's echoing. Maybe it's just me today because it's, like, it's sounding a little funky. I'm gonna look at the stream really quickly.
And on the flyer of the Brewing Deck party deck, we'd like to welcome EB. We also thank Yannick for their continued support of the Western Nebraska Pioneers.
No, we're good. Back here as we get set for the bottom of the first for your Western Nebraska Pioneers. You're at Oregon Trail Park. As Alejandro Castillo had a 1-2-3 inning in the bottom half, in the top half of the first inning. And we are going to have a guest here in the bottom half of the first. Coming into the press box here is going to be Luke Noak, the left fielder for the Pioneers. As he is going to join me here on the broadcast. We're going to try to have a bunch of players here tonight that will be in on the broadcast.
How's it going, Jeff?
It's good, Luke. How are you?
Doing great. Ready to watch the boys catch a win today. Hopefully get on them early. EJ leading us off from the top. And let's go score some runs early.
Yeah, absolutely. And so for you, Luke, you're from Texas, and you're good friends with Jake Maroney, who's not in the lineup today. But what is it like having a good friend like Jake Maroney, you know, with you on the team? As EJ Barnes leads it off, he's going up against Jake Green.
You know, just having my best friend here from back home, it's awesome just because, you know, you have somebody you've known all your life just to be with and hang out with all the time. You don't got to worry about the struggle of, you know, being alone, as weird as that sounds. It's true. You know, going into a new spot, it's always a little different. But having someone you can always count on to, you know, just have your back through everything, it really means a lot. But that's the statement to these other guys, man. They've all welcomed us as open arms, coaches, teammates, staff, everybody, and it's just been an awesome experience so far for sure.
Absolutely, Luke. As EJ Barnes has a 2-1 count at the plate, and now you've been in this situation a lot this year, leading off the ball game, especially in the bottom half of the first. Is we're 9-2 at home, which is a pretty good record at home. But do you have a certain mentality? As I'll let you answer it after this pop up in the infield by Barnes. Durbin, the youngest kid, he's 15 out there at shortstop, Luke, and so he makes the play. So EJ Barnes is retired, but what is it like, you know, leading off the ball game, especially in the bottom half? It's a little bit different mentality than being on the road and leading off a ball game, is it not?
It is. It's very different. I like to just use the energy of the crowd and especially my pitcher in the top of the first. You know, if they get through it, a little shutdown inning like Alejandro just had, it gets me up there with all the confidence in the world, just knowing that I'm the tone setter for the team and just get on base and find a way to get around and score and put the boys up.
Absolutely. And speaking of which, a guy that you played with the past year, Cooper Burgess, is at the plate as Burgess bats second and plays third for the Pioneers today. He took up and away 1-0. What is that like as well? You know, there's a bunch of guys, as he's going to take a strike here, a bunch of guys. Paris JUCO is where you went to school this past summer, or this past year, I should say. And what is it like also having a guy that you've played with, So that brings another person in which as Burgess fouls that pitch back.
That's another really cool thing is, you have someone you've grown up with all the time, but, I've lived with Cooper for, about a year now. So, just knowing the ins and outs of somebody, how they not only work on the field but off the field, I find very big. Just knowing a person, who they are, what they can do on and off, and it's really awesome. Ooh,
yeah, and
swing.
Burgess puts a good swing into one and drives it to right field. It was Clenert out there. If you remember the kid who played center field yesterday, he's not feeling too well. I don't know whether that's being such travel or anything, but the kid who started the game yesterday out there is Lachlan Forder, and he's the one who makes the play as Burgess is out number 2 here in the bottom of the first. So, Luke, you've been here for a little bit over a month. What is it like living here in Gering, Nebraska, and playing with the Pioneers? Ethan Mooser from Mount Elgin, Ontario, is going to be the batter here. But what's it like for you? Because it's a lot different from Frisco, Texas, is it not?
It is very different. From where I'm from in Frisco, it's, no land, a lot of buildings. And, it's big city town, very urban. So being here, it's awesome being here. It's a very big change of scenery.
Popped up is Mooser. I'll let you finish your answer. This one is carrying an, oh boy, this ball's going to fall past Grady Smith. It's part of being young and learning the game, right?
Yes,
the ball travels different in the infield than it does in the outfield. So after the Burgess fly ball, I think I'm going to have to put it down as an E5. That ball should be caught, Luke. I think even though, you're in left, you're not making the call, calling off Cooper if he's at third base, are you there? You're expecting him to be making that play.
Always, yes, sir.
But you mentioned living here and living in Texas. Well, a guy from Salem, Oregon, who I've noticed has become a good friend of yours on this team, Cole Weiland, is going to come to the plate here, right? So what is it like making the new friendships? You've known Jake, you've known Cooper, but now you didn't know Cole coming into this season.
No,
but
sir.
Obviously you guys are going everywhere and hanging out together.
Oh, it's so awesome. I'm really tight with a bunch of these guys right
Mooser
now.
goes on the first pitch, the throw down from
boy.
Ryan Clark behind the plate, and it's a stolen base for Ethan Mooser, something you do very well as well, is steal some bases.
Thank you. But, yeah, just having all these new guys, Cole's from Oregon, Moose is from Canada. We all hang out together all the time. We like to go do things as a big group, and it's just awesome, coming from different places. Everyone's used to something else, the norms and standards of other places. But to be able to come in this community and really have an impact on the people here and how they influence us as well, it's just been a really awesome
Absolutely. Good hack there from Cole Weiland. We're talking with Luke Noak, usually a starting left fielder, but day off for you today or exhibition game, so it's not as important for you, right? So let the guys that haven't had as many at-bats get some at-bats because we know you've been playing a lot recently. And I think, was it, Dodge City, the first game where you weren't feeling well, that you didn't play all year, and that was like the 15th game on the season. So.
But, yeah, I'm excited to watch the boys go out there and get a dub today. I'm ready to cheer them on, get back down there at the field. And
Weiland has a good hack there. He's down on strikes. That's going to end the first. Now, I'll ask you, Luke, do you want to stay for the top of the second or you want to go back in the dugout with the boys? It's up to you.
I would, but Coach J.J. O'Connor, that guy.
He's making you come back in the dugout?
He's put me on a time limit.
No problem. It was fun having you up here in the box. Thank you, Luke.
Yeah,
of course. We'll be right back with more Pioneers baseball. Appreciate you, bro. I hope you enjoyed it. Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure. Hey, might hear a little bit of rustling. Somebody's putting on a headset. We've got Coy Carpenter, typical center fielder in the box. Now, we just had Luke Noak. He was up here in the bottom of the first inning, and I'm not going to lie, he wasn't great luck. Had 4 at-bats, and we reached on an error in the bottom of the first. And what's the reason that you're up here? Did you get fired from third base coach? Because you were the third base coach there.
I got in trouble for saying depending on what's happening.
Gotcha. The batter is Brady Smith for the Select Colts. 0-2 count for Castillo. He feels a pitch up and in, and it's going to be 1-2 now. We just had a Frisco, Texas, Sagan, Texas, is that your home boy at McMurray University? Seguin.
Yeah, it's a small league. Yeah, Seguin, Texas.
Yeah, well, what's it like having other guys from Texas? You got a Texas native, Wes LaCoe, as I was corrected because it's not Wes Lock, as I thought it was. Castillo deals his 1-2. Hit over to Rowan O'Connor, who gets his third opportunity, throws it over to first. He made a good play to end the first. Did you see the play he had out there? It was a heck of a play, was it not?
It was nice, dude. I was up out of my chair and everything.
And you are the energy guy on this team, Coy. Yesterday you were imitating players before the game, and pretty much to a T. I said it last night, but what's it like, being that guy, energy, being the guy that everybody enjoys being around on this team? Of course, it's your second year with the Pioneers.
Yeah, it's fun. Like I just, I like to say I'm not a friendly guy, but I guess when it comes to baseball, I just like making friends, because, those are my teammates. You're gonna be with them all summer, Might as well be someone that everyone likes.
Absolutely. So. And now you said you are from Seguin, Texas, so is it a little bit different being here in Gear? Of course, you've been here before with the Pioneers in a past year. That break is there. As Castillo gets ahead of the count 0-2 on the batter, Lockwood Porter. He's the guy that you faced last night. What was he like on the mound? And he was the first batter. He was the first pitcher for them as he's down on strikes on breaking ball.
A lot of those guys, they walk by. It's cool to play.
You've got a pretty good accent. I think being around Coach Jay might have helped you out a little bit with your accent, huh? As the batter is Ethan Ward, young center fielder for the Colts. Now, their shortstop is 15. I don't know.
I someone say something.
We're talking about kids being young. They're 15, 16. How old are you? You're going into 21. So, a 6-year difference between you guys. Do you think it's helping them being here and against college guys and traveling?
Yeah, 100%.
We got a moment here. The umpire just punched him out, but it was only 1-1. So down on strikes is Castillo there. Now, you were fired from third base coach, so do you want to stay for the bottom half of the second? Or
yeah, I'll stay.
Okay. So we'll be right back with more from Coy Carpenter as the Pioneers get a 1-2-3 inning, 2 strikeouts in the inning for Castillo. Maybe we'll hear a little bit of play-by-play from Coy Carpenter when we come back on KNEB Radio.
All right, thank you. Please be sure to put through the ballpark. Remember to tag us at Axon.
it's been fun so far, especially at home where the Pioneers are 9-2.
Yeah, absolutely. A new set of faces, fresh, fresh meat around just to talk to and get to know, build all those connections and everything. It's always good to have in your back pocket, especially when you're done playing baseball. So that's kind of like my goal when I come out here, just to get to know as many
Well, I've been always told that veterans wherever you are, no matter what you're at McMurray University. Have you been enjoying your time there playing as a warhawk? I believe it's Abilene, Texas, correct? And so Carson Bevel's at the plate. He's from Fargo, North Dakota. That's a way different place than Texas. But how have you enjoyed your time playing, for the Warhawks? And what's it like for you?
It's fun. It's fun.
Carson Bevel is a 2-2 count leading off the bottom of the second. We're talking with Coy Carpenter, typical starting center fielder for us. Coy, were you a center fielder? You played all three positions because so far for the Pioneers, you played left, I believe, in the first game, and then you got moved to center, and that's really where you've been for most of the season. So what's it like over here?
Yeah, I've been just trying to figure stuff
Just indeed, it did hit on top of the press box.
Yeah, I've mainly played center field, but I'm not gonna say oh, I'm center field only. I'm not too good to not play left or right.
You think so? I've always thought that it might be a little bit harder because you have to understand the angles of the ball going both ways, right? Like if it's a lefty, it's coming toward the right side. Levels down on strikes as he swings with the fastball. Jay Green and Brody Vanistock come to the plate. I do agree with you. The corner outfield feels like the ball gets to you a lot quicker when you're playing in the corner outfields.
It does. And right field, you got to have a good arm because you got to throw to second and third. It's just a longer throw. Left field, you got to play the slices and the hooks and everything. Center field, you see it more, but they tend to say you have to cover more ground, but most of the time my left and right fielder pick me up.
They help you out.
Yeah, a lot. So.
I mean, you just talked about having to throw from right field. Do you remember the throw Francisco had in Hayes where he almost threw that runner out at third?
It was
that
awesome.
throw was incredible, was it
awesome.
not? I mean, I wish he had him out at third, but he was called safe, but
Yeah, I thought that was bull. It was a bad call.
It was a bad call.
It was
but
in the game. It was in the heat of the game. It was a good enough throw. The throw beat him there, but the tag wasn't applied early enough, I guess. But
gotcha.
Sometimes as an umpire, you just got to give it to him because it was such a good throw.
Yeah, you wish if you were a former player and you were an umpire, right?
Yeah,
you would be okay. That throw is incredible. I'm calling him out just because of the throw. 1-2 count on Vanistock. He drills one in the air
Good little knock.
to left center. This ball is skied up there, Coy.
Get on two.
And there is the center fielder, unfortunately, for Brody Vanistock. That's Ethan Ward out there, who records the second out. Now, Coy, you're from Texas, so does that make you a Rangers fan? I mean, obviously you're playing ball, but you've got to watch a little bit of the majors at some point.
I grew up watching the Rangers a lot. I'm not too selective between the Astros and the Rangers. Rangers are always first pick, but
Texas is where it goes.
Big Texas guy.
Gotcha. Wyatt Buckley, catcher for the Pioneers.
Oh, it's a little out. It's okay.
It's all right. He gets a called
take.
strike there. Yes, the zone has been a little bit erratic today. There were pitches up and in. That would be well out for you, obviously up and away. And that is not talking about your 5'6" nature. That's just talking about it being outside because we know that 5'6" nature carries onto the field and you make it into 6'2". So you've had some great plays out there in center field. How do you work on that in, making great reads as a center fielder?
It's a lot of trial and error for sure. There'll be times I'll have terrible reads and I'll make a good play on it, but I'll have a terrible read off the bat, and it looks like I made a good play when it was just a bad read.
So even when you make a good play, it might have been a little bit of a mistake by you,
but
the fans will never know because they see you leaping up in the air to make the play.
Can't tell them that.
Buckley fouls that one off. He's got a 2-2 count at the plate. What's it like having guys from all around the country? Is it interesting to hear about, where guys are from? Of course, we just had Vanistock up, who's from Michigan, which is, just straight north of you. But you've got California boys like the San Jose State kids and guys from other parts of the country. What's that like for you?
Yeah, it's interesting. We're a lot of guys that like the good
Line
knock.
drive to
Good
left
knock.
field. Coming on is the left fielder. He's not going to make the play. That's Ryan Barnes, who was behind the plate yesterday. And Buckley's on with the first hit of the day, so
Good deal. We did. No more no. That's good.
no more no indeed. Go ahead, keep on going about what it's like having guys from other parts of the country.
So we have a lot of
Hold
guys-
on.
Oh,
I'm sorry to cut
go
you
ahead,
off.
Go ahead.
Intern Cole Mayberry is the courtesy runner for Wyatt Buckley at first base. Now, Cole Mayberry is wearing number 14, and he's going to get the opportunity to play in an exhibition game today. So we talked about his game notes on the website last night, and screw that. He's going to put on a jersey and go out there, and he's the runner on first as the batter is Rowan O'Connor, who swings through that pitch. Now, go ahead, continue, Coy.
Yeah, I was super excited for Cole over here. He was talking about he's gonna get some playing time potentially.
Yeah, he did play ball at Lubbock Christian down in
he
Texas.
did. Yeah. I had a buddy who transferred for Lubbock Christian. Riley Hood. He plays at McMurray now. He had himself a really good year. Shout out to Riley Hood. Good guy. Great mustache.
Yours isn't that bad either, but I don't know.
It's a little
Chris
blonde.
Gabus over there in first base coach, I think he's got one of the best ones.
Yeah, you can't compete with that. And so back to I was talking about all the different areas, guys coming from different states and everything. We like to talk about food a lot, and we'll talk about like In-N-Out or Whataburger and what's better in this. And
Have you had In-N-Out?
oh, I love In-N-Out. It's great.
Okay, so what's better, In-N-Out or Whataburger? Before, as unfortunately O'Connor struck out, so this is going to be the last answer for you. What's better, Whataburger? Are you loyal to your home state?
It's Whataburger. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
so what's your
It's just-
Whataburger order?
It differs. It's either like the patty melt or the honey butter chicken honey barbecue chicken sandwich.
Gotcha.
Can't spit it out.
Okay.
But yeah.
But we'll see you on the field, unfortunately, soon.
Yeah,
and
I
I know
know.
you'll be back out there when we take on Hayes and Colorado Rough Riders. Thank you for being up here in the press box, Coy, and
Yes,
enjoy
sir.
the rest of the game. Hopefully we can get some runs.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. The third, we just had a couple of guests. We had Luke Noak in the bottom of the first, and then we had Coy Carpenter, who stayed with us for the entirety of the second inning. We might have some other players up here throughout the rest of the broadcast. For right now, Jeffrey Nelson with you as we continue in the top of the third. Alejandro Castillo on the mound for the Western Nebraska Pioneers. Looks to continue his good start to the day. He has 2 strikeouts last inning on top of a 1-2-3 first inning. His first pitch here was outside for a ball, but his second pitch is in there for a strike on the outside corner. So it's 1-1 for the Texas native, Alejandro Castillo, as he deals to Jackson Frame, who's the designated hitter, who lines the ball to left. Coming on his Landis, he makes the catch chin high as he reaches in and makes the play. So another fly out to left. So we've really only had 2 balls put in play to 2 different positions. That's been Rowan O'Connor, who's made 3 plays at short, and 2 plays for Landis in left. We just had Coy Carpenter in the box, the Seguin, Texas native. Was fantastic here in the press box. Might have a couple other guests later on in the ball game. Might, in fact, leave it to Bryce Peterson, Kieran Gaffney, and Jackson Yeager. We'll see on who shows up, but We might have all three of them in the box, at which point I will let them do their own stuff. This ball is poked out through the hole into left field. It's a base hit for Kason Ludeman, who was on the mound last night for the Colts, and he gets the first base runner of the ball game. For the Australian select Colts here. So a runner on with one out. The batter is Ryan Barnes, who I thought did a great job behind the plate as a young kid. Even though there were a lot of wild pitches and a lot of runs scored on his team, he did a heck of a job. And then he went out and got 2 hits in his last 2 at-bats last night. He had an RBI double and a single to center. One-0 count on Barnes. That pitch is in there for a strike from Castillo, who's done a much better job of controlling his pitches so far today. Building confidence is the right-hander. The 1-1 is at the top of the zone, in there for strike 2. So it's 1-2 on Ryan Barnes, who was the catcher last night for the Colts. But tonight he is in left field. Cody Vandergroff in the top of the order is on deck. On first is Kason Ludeman with the first base runner of the day. Front door slider from Castillo, caught by Buckley, but it's just a little bit too far inside. So it goes to 2-2 now on Barnes. Two. Inside again. It's 3-2 on Ryan Barnes. Three-two with one out here and a runner on first. Another front hip slider there, and he doesn't get the call as Castillo, so he walks Barnes. And moving to second will be Kason Ludeman. The first 2 base runners on the day for the Australian select Colts off of Alejandro Castillo. And he'll deal to the top of the order in Cody Vandergroff. First and second here. Good crowd on a Saturday night here in Gehring. First pitch just missed the zone from Castillo. So it's 1-0. Castillo gets ready to deal his next pitch to Vandergroff, who we got the ground out to O'Connor at short. He lines one towards short. Chance to double him up. They do indeed, as flipping to second is Rowan O'Connor. And that gets a double play for Castillo on the line drive. And that puts an end to the potential rally for the Colts here. Castillo is up to 38 pitches on the day, working effectively. He walked his first man, but got a double play. And at the end of 2.5, we have no score.
Last delivery, are you ready? Okay, on your mark, get set, go! Are you going to cheer them on? There we go. Kyrie. Oh, Kyrie on another one. Ooh, look at that. We're just going to say since Tyron cheated, Brandon wins. You cheated, I'm sorry. Even though the team thinks differently. Anyways, back up to you, Dylan.
All right, thank you, Kaylee, and thanks to our friends at Allocated Communications for their continued support.
Landis is on at the plate. His first pitch swing, line drive center field. First base hit on the day for second base hit. Wyatt Buckley had the one last inning, but second base hit on the day, first of the season for Andrew Landis, who's going to Oakland University along with Brody Fanistock in the fall. E.J. Barnes walking up to his Kendrick Lamar music. Gets his second at-bat. He popped out to short his first time. That was when Luke Noak was in the press box with us on the live stream and here on KNEB Radio. We had Coy Carpenter for the entirety of the second inning. First pitch strike to Barnes, the San Diego, California native. With Landis on first. The one. Cut on and fouled back. E.J. Barnes moved up in the order today to the leadoff spot after a heck of a day he had, and is the 6-foot, 181-pound freshman from San Diego. Gets his second at-bat on the day. Landis off of first. He goes. Swing and a ground ball to the left side. Is fielded by Durbin, and the shortstop, the young shortstop, makes a heck of a play. Moving to second and avoiding the double play is Landis. Barnes is out at first, and Andrew Landis went on that pitch. Has good speed there, as he got a good jump off of Jake Green on the mound. Cooper Burgess will be the batter now. Landis 6'1" from Rochester, Michigan. That's 30 miles to the north of Detroit. Burgess takes up and away. It's 1-0 on Cooper Burgess. Fanistock, another Michigan native, is 25 minutes to the north. So Troy, Michigan, and the part of Michigan that Landis is from are very, very close. This pitch is hitting to right field by Burgess. Andrew Landis rounds third. He comes home to score. An RBI single to right field for Cooper Burgess. And the Pioneers take a 1-0 lead here in the bottom of inning number 3. Good job by Berg as he got a pitch down in the zone and was able to loop it out there to right field. It landed in front of Forder, who's out there in right for the Colts. Most of these guys are playing all different types of positions, aside from Zach Durbin, really, who's the shortstop. Mooser is the batter from Mount Elgin, Ontario. And as I was saying, Rochester, 30 miles to the north, and Troy, which is 25 minutes, I believe, to the north of Detroit. So O'Connor and Landis, both coming from Michigan. Cooper Burgess takes a pitch. Ethan Mooser, pardon me. Cooper Burgess had an RBI single to right field. It's 0-2 on Ethan Mooser. He took a fastball on the outside corner. He lines this one as he gets a pitch up in the zone into right field for a base hit. No more Coy Carpenter in the third base coach's box. Coach Jay O'Connor tells Cooper Burgess to hold up right there. But another single and back-to-back singles for the Pioneers, and they have runners on first and second for Cole Weiland. Cole Weiland from Salem, Oregon gets the at-bat here. He had a sac fly and an RBI and a triple to right field last night. This pitch is poked in the air to right. Forder is on his way in. For some reason, infield fly has been called, which makes absolutely no sense because that ball landed 55, 60 feet out in the outfield. But Cole Weiland is out number 2 here in the bottom of the third. And Carson Bevel will step to the plate. Bevel from Fargo, North Dakota. He struck out against Green his first time. He led off the bottom of the second. A slider from Green is in there for a first pitch strike to Bevel. Goes to Minnesota State and Technical Community College in Minneapolis, Minnesota. First and second after their back-to-back singles from Burgess and Mooser. Pioneers lead 1-0 on the RBI single from Burgess, who stands out there at second as Bevel calls time at the plate, with the young freshman to be at Oakland University, Brody Fanistock, standing on deck. A good crowd once again, as always, here in Gehring. And the 0-1, another slider, maybe a bit high. Bevel didn't like it. It's called strike two. He's down 0-2 in the count with 2 outs here in the bottom of inning number 3. Exhibition game for the Pioneers against the Australian Select Colts. And Bevel has an 0-2 count. Green kicks and deals. Cut on and miss, down on strikes for the second time is Bevel. That ends the inning, but the Pioneers get a run. They had 3 hits in the inning, no errors, and 2 runners left on base. At the end of 3 innings of play, the Pioneers lead it 1-0. Back here as we start the top of the 4th inning, Alejandro Castillo back on the mound. An awkward moment in between innings for Brody Fanistock out there at first base. His glove ripped on a throw from Cooper Burgess. The ball just went straight through his glove, so he needed to run to the dugout to get a new glove from a different teammate as he'll look to get his glove relaced at some point. First pitch, strike to the young Zach Durbin, who leads things off here for the Colts. 1-0 Pioneers. Not like last night, and I think the umpire got hit in a spot that you don't like. It was a spiked pitch from Castillo, and Buckley didn't block it, and it bounced up and hit the home plate umpire in a rough spot. Needing some time to breathe and gather his thoughts as the home plate umpire tonight. Castillo and Buckley walking around. Maybe a little bit of water might be necessary for the umpire. As the other umpires from last night, Ben Ayotte, who was behind the plate, he's coming down into the home plate area, talking to the home plate umpire, Corey Monroe and Scott Summerfield as well. The umpiring crew. Not what you need if you're the home plate umpire here. As he gets an applause from the crowd. Castillo takes his hat off and apologizes, patting his chest, saying, "My bad." As the umpire got hit in a spot that you wouldn't necessarily like to be hit in on a spiked pitch by Castillo. We'll get ready to continue this 1-1 at bat for Durbin. His second at bat of the day, he flied out to Landis and left his first time. The 1-1 pitch, well, that one's not spiked, but it's up and away from Castillo. It's 2-1 on the left-handed swinging Durbin, although he's listed as a right-handed swinger. That pitch is on the outside corner. It's called a strike, and it's 2-2 for Castillo now. Gets ready to deal his 2-2 to Durbin. Kicks and fires. Outside corner, just off the plate. So the count goes full. We're at 3-2 with Zach Durbin, and we're playing exhibition baseball here at Oregon Trail Park between the Western Nebraska Pioneers and the Australian Select Colts. The 3-2 from Castillo is down low. Second walk on the day, back-to-back innings with a walk for Castillo. He retired his first 7 batters that he faced before he gave up a single to Kason Ludeman, the 8-hole hitter. And his other walk was of Ryan Barnes, the 9th place hitter in the order for the Colts. He deals to the 3 spot in Ryan Clark here, the catcher, wearing number 24. Main number of former Giants player for the Mays. First pitch to Clark. Fastball outside corner. It's a strike for Castillo. The 0-1, cut on and missed by Clark. He's behind in the count 0-2 now. It's an 0-2 count for Castillo, who will look to get his 3rd strikeout on the day. The 0-2 is up and out of the zone. Buckley fakes a throw towards the runner at first, which is Zach Durbin. So it's 1-2 on Ryan Clark as we play here in the top of inning number 4. Inching further and further is Durbin. Breaking ball, got him looking. He froze Clark there. A front hit breaking ball from Castillo sees him get his 3rd strikeout on the day. And the first out here in the 4th inning for Alejandro Castillo. The batter is Gabriel Vaillancourt, wearing number 18. Seems like Grady Smith was scratched from the lineup. Vaillancourt is from Montreal, Canada. The first pitch from Castillo was down in the zone, and in fact, it was a wild pitch as the ball scampered away from Buckley, and moving up to second was Durbin. Castillo up to 50 pitches now. And the second pitch to Vaillancourt is grounded over towards Bevel at second, who fields and flips the first in time. Second out recorded. Moving to third is Durbin. Vallian Court is how you spell Gabriel Vaillancourt. That is his last name. Lachlan Forder steps to the plate now as he gets his 2nd opportunity. He was retired on strikes his first time. Swinging through the first pitch there. He's behind in the count 0-1. Looking to keep this a 1-0 ball game. This ball shot down the right field line. It just goes foul as it slices down the right field line from the right-handed hitting Forder. Not able to keep that one fair, and he's behind in the count 0-2 as Ethan Mooser gave that one an effort. That ball was going to land either way. Whether it was going to be fair or foul was the only question. And returning to third base will be Durbin after he moved over on the ground ball by Vaillancourt. Oh and 2. Castillo looks to hold the 1-0 lead for the Pioneers here in the 4th. It's exhibition baseball with a team from Australia, the Australian Select Colts. Not everybody comes from the country of Australia. This one goes to the backstop as it goes off the glove of Buckley and pops high off the screen. Second wild pitch in the inning for Castillo. Sees a run across the plate, and this ball game is tied at 1. So just what you didn't need in an 0-2 count where you have an opportunity to get a batter and get out of the inning. Unfortunately, it's a wild pitch for Castillo, and that sees this ball game be tied after the Pioneers took the lead in the bottom half of the third. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. An awkward swing for Forder there as he's retired. And that ends the 4th inning. They do get a run without a hit. No errors and nobody left on base. At the end of 3.5, this ball game is tied at 1.
All right, thanks, guys. Congratulations on winning our basketball.
Brody Fanistock leads off as we start the bottom of the 4th, tied at 1. Pioneers got one in the bottom of the 3rd. And the Colts got that run right back in the top of the 4th. Taking a first pitch strike is Fanistock. The 0-1 is low, below the zone to Brody Fanistock, who's pitched a little bit, and he's going to look to play both the field and pitch for Oakland University. The incoming freshman hits a ground ball over to Durbin at short, who fields it on 2 hops, a wide throw, but keeping his foot on the bag over there is the first baseman Vandergroff. And out number 1 is Brody Fanistock here in inning number 4. And now the batter will be Wyatt Buckley. Buckley just seemed to have gotten off his catcher's gear, and already he has to put on his batting gloves and the rest of the stuff he uses at the plate. Grab a bat and come to hit here with 1 out in the bottom of the 4th, and this game tied at 1. Buckley from Sterling, Colorado, 2 hours to the northeast of Denver. He goes to Garden City Community College, where he's a Bronc Buster in Garden City, 3.5 hours to the west of Wichita, as he takes up and out of the zone, 1-0. A lot of Colorado kids and a lot of Texas kids here on this Western Nebraska Pioneers roster. A lot of kids from the United Arab Emirates and Australia, of course, for the Australian Select Colts. 2-0 was the count on Buckley. He bats for the second time here. He singled to left his first time. He takes a strike from Green at the knees on the outside corner. And he has a 2-1 count, and the pitch. He reaches down and fouls one off back into the screen, so the count goes to 2-2. Here on Wyatt Buckley, as he bats with 1 out here in the 4th. The 2-2 got him looking on a breaking ball on the outside corner for Jake Green. A good pitch there from the right-hander who's 24 years old for this Colts team. And there's 2 outs now. And that will bring in Rowan O'Connor. O'Connor, 6'2" from Seattle, Washington. He goes to Gonzaga University. Great city of Seattle in the Northwest. Taking a first pitch strike on the outside corner is O'Connor. And the second pitch is fouled back and out of play. So the count is 0-2 on Rowan O'Connor. 2 outs here in the bottom of inning number 4. Green looking for a 1-2-3 inning. O'Connor looking to do differently. He takes up and in and ducks out of the way at the last second. And the count goes to 1-2 on the Seattle, Washington native. And the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. A good inning for Jake Green. He gets 2 strikeouts as he gets Buckley and O'Connor via the K. At the end of 4, we're tied at 1 here on KNEB Radio and on the Western Nebraska Pioneers YouTube page. Start the top of the 5th, or we'll get set to start the top of the 5th. Any second now. Alejandro Castillo back out there on the mound for the Pioneers. He goes into his 5th inning of work. He's pitched quite a lot for the Pioneers recently. He's up to 55 pitches, so we'll see how far they let him go. Maybe just get him through 5. Of course, the Pioneers want to win this game, and I think they were expecting to be ahead by a lot more after being up 10-0 after 3 innings or 4 innings yesterday. And instead today, they're in a 1-1 battle with the Select Colts, who are playing them a lot better than they were last night. Castillo will deal to 6, 7, and 8 in the order. Ethan Ward, Jackson Frame, and Kason Ludeman. Ward, the first batter that Castillo will face as he adjusts his cap on the mound. And now he's on the rubber, and he's ready to deal his first pitch to the right-handed swinging Ethan Ward. And the pitch is cut on and missed. And that's strike 1. The 0-1 on the outside corner, just off the plate from the home plate umpire. It's 1-1. One, bit too far inside as he went for another front hit breaking ball. He's had a good job of getting those front hit breaking balls for strikes today. Sometimes he hasn't gotten the call. It's 2-1. Castillo deals his 2-1. It's grounded up the middle. It's the back of the mound. O'Connor fields it, bobbles it, throws the first in time. Oh my goodness, what a play. Rowan O'Connor went about 45 feet to his left. He fielded the ball as it took a high hop. It went off the heel of his glove and popped up in the air where he grabbed it about chest high and still threw on the run, moving to his left where Brody Fanistock stretched out at first base and made a heck of a play for Rowan O'Connor, getting Alejandro Castillo out number 1. Boy, O'Connor has looked smooth over there defensively so far today in his first start for the Pioneers. We saw him make a spinning play as he went 360 on him and made a play back in the first inning, but this one was even better than the one back in the first as Jackson Frame checks his swing and goes around on the first pitch from Castillo. The 0-1 is another breaking ball from Castillo. It's too far outside. As I mentioned, O'Connor is from Michigan. O'Connor's from Seattle, Washington. Landis is from Michigan. And that pitch is on the outside corner. And one guy that is great defensively, we'll have to see if O'Connor's watched him at all, is J.P. Crawford of the Seattle Mariners, as he's made spectacular plays over his career. 1-2 count. Fastball at the knees is too low to the liking of the home plate umpire, so it's 2-2 for Castillo. He says, was that a little bit low? The umpire says, yes, just a little bit. So confirming the zone of his home plate umpire is Castillo, as he has a 2-2 count on Frame here, as he will kick and deal the pitch. Pitch is fouled back. 3-2, stays at 2-2 for Castillo, as he looks to get his second out here in the 5th inning. He's up to 64 pitches on the day. We're playing exhibition baseball here at Oregon Trail Park for the Western Nebraska Pioneers before they get ready for more league play against the Greeley Grays tomorrow. This breaking ball, it was close for Frame there as he checked his swing. And the count will go to 3-2. So he had a good eye there. They asked the first base umpire very, very late, who says no. Full count, says the home plate umpire. 2 games tomorrow and Monday against the Greeley Grays. Tomorrow's a 5:05 game, so might have to tune in a little bit earlier than usual. Castillo just misses the zone. It's walk number 3 on the day for him on the mound. Still lower than what he had when he first came here, and that is an improvement for him as he looks to get his command at a better rate and be able to find the zone more consistently. Greeley Grays come into town tomorrow and Monday, 5:05 p.m. Mountain Time here at Oregon Trail Park, and then we go back to our usual 6:35 time on Monday. So a runner on first for Castillo with 1 out. We're tied at 1. He's going to throw over and check on Jackson Frame, the tall designated hitter today for the Australian Select Colts. Gets back in there with the dive. The batter at the plate is Kason Ludeman, who got hit around a little bit last night, but he got it back tonight as he's got the first hit on the day for the Select Colts. Fastball outside corner, strike 1 from Castillo as he looks to keep Ludeman from getting on base. Over there, Jackson Frame stands 6'2", 200 pounds. At 19 years old, still 18 in fact. He has not yet turned 19. He has a birthday in August. That pitch is in there for a strike from Castillo, who himself is 19 years old, and he has an 0-2 count on Kason Ludeman. Spells it with a K, K-A-S-E-N. Does Ludeman. He is the second baseman today. He flares this one off as he reaches for one off of balance, but staying alive at the plate does Ludeman. '70th pitch of the ball game will be the next one for Castillo. Frame with his lead off of first. A breaking ball. We know he's tried that front hit, but he didn't get enough break on that one. In fact, it went over the head of Ludeman, caught by Buckley behind the plate, though. So Frame stays at first. On deck is Ryan Barnes, the young catcher, but he's playing left field today with Ryan Clark behind the plate for the Colts. 1-1 ball game. We're playing in the top of inning number 5 with 1 out. Castillo has a 1-2 count, and he deals a pitch that's hit in the air to right. Mooser was playing a lot deeper than expected. This ball falls. Second hit of the day for Kason Ludeman with a single to right now. He went to left field his first time. First and second Not the first time Castillo has been in this situation today. He had first and second back in the third inning when he got a line drive double play, but Coach Jay O'Connor is taking a trip out to the mound as he's at 71 pitches, and there are arms in the bullpen. Now, the Pioneers are going to use position players today. Did not expect that out of them. In fact, one of them is our intern, Cole Mayberry, and the other one, I cannot tell, but I know it is a right-hander throwing down there. Mayberry is a left-hander. I believe it might be Jackson Yeager down there in the bullpen who might be throwing around because it is an exhibition game, so it does not count to the true record of the Pioneers. It is a fun game for them. We saw last night 2 coaches were pitching. If you didn't see that, it's on the Western Nebraska Pioneers YouTube page. You just have to go to the live section of the channel, and you can see any game from recent time of the home games. And if you want to know what inning it was that Coach Jay O'Connor and Coach Zach Smith pitched in, well, it was the top of the 6th inning. So just look at the scoreboard in the bottom left and go find the top of the 6th inning if you want to see them pitch. Now, Castillo is the one pitching right now, and he deals a first pitch strike to Ryan Barnes on the outside corner at about just above the knee in height as he has runners on first and second and looks to get maybe another double play. He says, let's do a re-roll to Wyatt Buckley as he needs a new sign from his catcher. He has an 0-1 count on Barnes. Deals a fastball down and away. It's 1-1. Playing left field today is Ryan Barnes. It's 1-1 at the plate. Castillo, wasn't sure if there was a pitch limit on him today. Of course, he pitched recently for the Pioneers in the bullpen as they didn't have as many arms as they needed. Ground ball over the middle. This is a chance for 2. Bevel fields it. It goes off of his glove. And, in fact, he's not going to get anybody as it'll be an error on Carson Bevel. Maybe he had a chance to get an out there. So frustrating play for Castillo. Got a ground ball, but it was a high chopper, so it would have been hard for Carson Bevel really to get anybody. In fact, after he bobbled that ball, I'm not sure he even had a chance to get Ryan Barnes over there, but we'll see how they score it. Either way, he has to face the top of the order here, but this is the man who we got to line into the double play, who hits a line drive on one hop, and it goes past the glove of O'Connor over there at short, who's been so good over there so far today, and that one goes into left field. It will go down as a single for Vandergraaf, and it will be an RBI single at that, and the Pioneers now trail 2-1 on the single by the leadoff hitter, Cody Vandergraaf. Coming home to score was Jackson Frame. I've always been told it always starts with a walk. Well, Frame walked, and here he is coming around to score, as that will do it for Alejandro Castillo. He leaves with the bases loaded and leaves at 75 pitches, just 2 outs shy of getting through 5 innings. We'll come right back when Cole Mayberry will be on the mound for the Western Nebraska Pioneers. is on the mound for the Pioneers. It's an exhibition game. So he gets an opportunity as the intern. I wanted to play, but they wouldn't let me play. They needed somebody to do the broadcast, unfortunately. Otherwise, I definitely would have been out there and asked to play. But either way, cool to see an intern on the mound. Cole Mayberry from Lubbock Christian takes the mound, the left-hander for the Pioneers. Former college player. Takes the mound in relief of Alejandro Castillo, who goes 4 1/3. Not bad in terms of getting his outing. Mayberry deals a first pitch. Ground ball to the left side. It's going to get through into left field. Moving station to station are the Colts here. But they get a third run. So Mayberry gives up a hit on his first pitch. It's an RBI single for Zach Durbin, who goes the other way and brings home Kason Ludeman for the third run of the ball game for the Colts. Moving to third was Barnes. Moving to second after his RBI single was Vandergraaf. Mayberry deals outside. Typically a first baseman is Cole. Well, typically he's an intern, I should say, rather. But in the exhibition game, he's on the mound. Here's the Texas native. Pitch is lined down the left field line. Just goes foul by Ryan Clark. Almost had himself 2 RBIs there as he reached out on a breaking ball from Mayberry and got it down the left field line. But it was just a little bit early. That one goes foul, and so we'll come back into the box with the bases loaded. 1 out here in the top of the 5th. The Pioneers are down 3-1 to the Australian Select Colts here in an exhibition game. The lefty Mayberry ready to deal his 1-1 pitch. This pitch is bounced over towards third, and it goes foul. He's losing his footing there at the plate was Clark. Wish it would have gone fair. He would have had a great opportunity to turn a double play. Either way, Mayberry gets a 1-2 count on the right-handed hitting Clark, who's behind the plate today. Time called at the plate by Clark. Mayberry, soon to be done at Lubbock Christian with his school. A school near Texas Tech, down in Lubbock, Texas. Of course, the state of Texas, home to the A&M Aggies, who are playing in Game 1 of the College World Series across the state in Omaha. This ball's drilled towards right center. Ethan Mooser goes to the right center field gap. He makes the play. Runners on second and third will tag. It's cut off by O'Connor, who throws over towards third. But it's a sac fly and an RBI for Ryan Clark. He pushes the lead to 4-1 now, as moving to third on the play was Vandergraaf, and tagging up and scoring was the left fielder Ryan Barnes. Mooser records the out. Second out here in the 5th. And the batter will be Gabriel Vaillancourt with the runners on first and third. Vandergraaf off of third. He had an RBI single. Durbin is off of first. Mayberry getting squeezed by the umpire a little bit on that pitch on the outside corner, just off the plate. It's 1-0. Vanderstock holding on Durbin at first. The lefty Mayberry, who's an intern for the Pioneers, is pitching in this exhibition game, and he used to play college ball at Lubbock Christian. Gets a foul ball out of Vaillancourt. And the count is 1-1. Durbin stays put at first. Swing and a miss, and it's a foul ball at the plate by Vaillancourt. So it's 1-2 now. 1-2 count for Mayberry as he gets set to deal the pitch to Vaillancourt with runners on first and third. And it's in the dirt on a changeup. Durbin's going for second. The throw down goes past him and goes into the outfield, backed up by Rowan O'Connor, but a poor decision there as a runner is going to come home to score. That's Cody Vandergraaf on the stolen base for Durbin since he was going on the play. Now scoring on what will be an E2 since the ball got by and he wasn't going before the play, before the throw down, I should say, is Cody Vandergraaf. Now it's 2-2 on Vaillancourt. Time called once again at the plate. Vaillancourt doesn't like the time Mayberry's taking. So it's 2-2 on the right-handed swinging Vaillancourt, who lines this one over towards O'Connor at shortstop. That ends the inning. And the Pioneers give up 4 runs. At the end of 4.5, they trail 5-1. Andrew Landis leads things off here in the bottom of the 5th with the Pioneers down 5-1 now. He singled to center on a first pitch last time. He's taking the first pitch this time. It's in there for a strike from Jake Green, who's still out there on the mound. Pitches the ball. It's 1-1. Castillo only gave up 3 hits, but he ends up giving up all 5 of the runs, 4 of them being earned. Now the 1-1 to Landis, who chases a pitch up and away. It's fouled off. 4 strikeouts for Castillo. He threw 75 pitches today, and he only walked 3, so a much better day in terms of his control. But he gets pulled before he can finish 5 innings. Chasing that pitch was Landis. 3 straight strikeouts on the mound for Jake Green. He's up to 6 strikeouts on the day. And the Pioneers are struggling against this 24-year-old right-hander for the Australian Select Colts. E.J. Barnes will look to change that as he bats here with 1 out. The first pitch to Barnes is up and away, who last night had 3 hits and was 3 for 3. Tonight he's 0 for 2. Bottom of the 5th, Pioneers down 5-1. Pitch is popped up out of play behind the plate. So Barnes at the plate now with a 1-1 count. He looks to get on in front of Cooper Burgess, who stands on deck. The 1-1 pitch is up high. It's 2-1 to the San Diego, California native and the San Jose State Spartan, along with Jaden Onaka and Jake Maroney. Pitch is high, but in the zone, according to the home plate umpire. Barnes didn't like it at all. He turned away, and in fact, he's walking away from the plate right now, frustrated with that call, as it's a 2-2 count on the shortstop usually, but the designated hitter today for the Pioneers. 2-2 pitch from Green is a breaking ball. That one's too high. It's going to go to 3-2 on EJ. Had his mom here earlier in the year. His dad was here recently. His dad was here last night. Should be here for a couple more days as well. 3-2. Barnes lines one to right field. In fact, it's blooped over there. It seemed like he hit it harder than he did. And the second baseman, Ludeman, goes out. And he makes the play in shallow right field and records the second out as Barnes is retired. And that will bring Cooper Burgess to the plate now. Burgess ready for his first pitch from Green in his third at-bat. He's had an RBI single to right field his last time, and after he flew out to right when he put a good swing on a ball. A 1. Down low, 1-1. A good eye there from Burgess, who's had better swings at the plate as of recently, seeing more pitches more often and getting a little bit more ABs, especially on the road trip. Swing and a ground ball over there towards second. A late high hop to Ludeman, who fields, throws to first. A 1-2-3 shutdown inning for Jake Green and the select Colts. And at the end of 5, the Pioneers trail this ball game 5-1. Top of the 6th inning we go here. Cole Mayberry back on the mound for the Western Nebraska Pioneers in relief of Alejandro Castillo. Kai Chapelski comes to the plate now. And he takes strike 1. I believe he's pinch hitting for Lachlan Forder here. That pitch is bounced over towards the left side. O'Connor fields it as Burgess lets it go by him, and a great throw over there by Rowan O'Connor. And he records out number 1. I said he has smooth hands over there. Of course, he had a rough ball that was hit towards him last inning in which he wasn't able to make the play, but that went down as a single. So Chapelski, who batted in the 9 spot last night, has a brother on the team as well. I believe his name is Jake Chapelski. He's the first out for Mayberry on the mound. The pitch is high. It's 1-0. If you're wondering who Mayberry is, it's Cole Mayberry. He's an intern for us here at the Western Nebraska Pioneers. I'm your voice of the Pioneers, Jeffrey Nelson, intern as well. This pitch is fouled almost into the dugout of the Colts on the first base side. The batter is Ethan Ward. It's 1-1 on Ward at the plate. Mayberry deals look like a changeup. Might have been foul tipped at the plate by Ward. The ball just goes behind the umpire. And the count goes to 1-2. Jackson Frame stands on deck. And in fact, he's retrieving the baseball that was just behind the umpire, as Mayberry has a 1-2 count. Swing and a miss at a pitch in the dirt. Recording his first strikeout is Mayberry on the mound, as he's retired the last 4 after giving up a single on his first pitch. So he has 2 outs here in the top of the 6th inning with the Pioneers down 5-1. And he'll deal to Jackson Frame, who stands 6'2" as the designated hitter. Swings it from the right side, so favorable matchup for the right-handed hitter against the lefty Mayberry, who pitches outside, 1-0. No changes so far yet today. Don't expect many changes. It's a different lineup. This pitch is in foul territory towards the dugout, going over his Fanistock and Buckley takes a stumble there. I'm not sure if he hit dirt or something that's in the on-deck circle, but he took a tumble and a roll over there by the dugout at the last second. That ball landed on top of the dugout, so no play for anybody over there by the Colts dugout. I believe it should be a 1-2 count on Frame. Scoreboard has it at 1-1, and it is indeed 1-1 as the umpire throws up a finger on each hand. So the 1-1 pitch from Mayberry, who kicks and deals inside, and it bounced up there to Frame as it goes back to the backstop. Cole Mayberry, spells it K-O-L-E, looking for a 1-2-3 inning here in the top of the 6th. He is the Texas native and intern for the Western Nebraska Pioneers. He deals a 2-1. Umpire, that's a 2-1 pitch, sir. I don't know why you're punching him out. It's 2-2. Mayberry sprinted off the mound as he comes back onto the mound now. It was just a 2-1 pitch. It's 2-2, sir. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. As he throws up 2 fingers on each hand. You've got the count right now, even though you punched him out. It's 2-2, so everybody returns to their positions. Mayberry gets set to deal a 2-2 pitch. Looking for back-to-back strikeouts after he struck out Ethan Ward. He'll deal the pitch. Grounder over towards Burgess at third. Fields it cleanly, a couple crow hops, and a throw over there to first base. It's a 1-2-3 inning. Now the inning is over, sir. And the Pioneers will come to bat in the bottom of the 6th. Needing some runs, they trail this one 5-1 in an exhibition game with the Australian Select Colts. You're listening to Pioneers Baseball on KNEB Radio and on the Western Nebraska Pioneers YouTube page. Ethan Mooser leads things off here in the bottom of the 6th. The Mount Elgin, Ontario native and Northern Colorado Bear steps to the plate here with the Pioneers down 5-1 as Jake Green is back out on the mound for his 6th inning of work. He's shut down the Pioneers so far. They got a run in the 2nd inning. Mooser bats now. He takes a strike down at the knees on the outside corner. He singled to right his last time. It was back-to-back singles between him and Burgess as he reached up and away and pulled one over the head of the second baseman, Ludeman. His 0-1 pitch from Green is outside. It's 1-1 now on Mooser, who's seen his at-bats dwindle a little bit lately, but here he gets the start in right field for the Pioneers. He's had good at-bats. He's worked walks, but striking out a couple times has been part of the problem at times. He chased that pitch there, so he looks to cut down on his strikeouts. Of course, the freshman is still learning the game of college ball, so adjusting to the game is still part of it. Didn't get as many at-bats at Northern Colorado this year, so seeing the baseball and live at-bats consistently is something that he hasn't had in a little bit of time. 2-2 count as he takes outside 2-2. He looks to get on in front of Cole Weiland, who stands on deck for the Pioneers. Green kicks and deals his 2-2. Fouled back, staying alive at the plate is Mooser, doing a good job of staying on time. He said he was struggling with his timing recently, and that's part of why he's been struggling a little bit at the plate. But he seemed to have found his timing as of late. Just needs to level out his plane as he looks to barrel one up here on a 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball, and whoa, that's called strike 3, even though that one looked like it was outside. And down on strikes is Mooser to start the bottom of the 6th here. Cole Weiland from Salem, Oregon and Whitworth University will come to the plate now. You heard Noak talk about how they've become good friends, even though they didn't know each other before coming to the Western Nebraska Pioneers. Either way, the right-handed swinging outfielder is ready for his third at-bat of the day, and that pitch is well up and in and ducking out of the way is Cole Weiland. 1-0 is the count on number 20 for the Pioneers, who's been a pitcher at times. Not expect to see him pitch today. You see him pitch in more high-leverage situations, not an exhibition game. Again, pitch is being called high in the zone by the home plate umpire. It's 1-1 on Weiland. The 1-1 pitch from Green is in there, not caught, and it's ball 2. Green has done a good job of stymieing this offense of the Pioneers, who scored 10 runs in 4 innings last night and just have 5 hits and a run so far through 5 1/3 innings of play. That's a 2-1 count on Weiland, and he pitches a fastball. That Weiland fouls back out of play, and the count goes to 2-2 with Carson Bevel on deck, who's had 2 strikeouts so far today. Weiland struck out once in the first, flied out to right in the third. It's a 2-2 pitch. A breaking ball hit in the air in the infield and going out on the outfield grass, and coming across the second base bag is Zach Durbin as he calls off his second baseman Ludeman, makes the play, records the second out as Bevel will bat now with 2 outs. Jake Green threatening to get through 6 innings against the Pioneers here, which is exactly what they don't need with the Greeley Grays coming in tomorrow. Tomorrow's game is at 5:05 here Mountain Time. That's 7:05, just at the same time as Sunday Night Baseball, and 6 o'clock Central and 4 o'clock on the Pacific Coast. Aiden Young stands on deck for the Pioneers as Bevel fouls back the first pitch. Bevel pops one up in the infield. Ludeman says, "You're not calling me off this time, Mr. Zach Durbin. You're too young, just 16 years old," is the shortstop Durbin. Ludemans makes the play, and that ends the 6th inning. And indeed, Jake Green gets through 6 innings as the Pioneers trail 5-1. Eli Stevens might be out on the mound. We'll see who's pitching for the Pioneers. I believe it's going to be Jackson Yeager when we come back.
Back to you, Bill.
All right, thank you.
back here as we get set to start the top of the 7th inning. A couple changes for the Pioneers. Garen Gledhill is going out to left field here in the 7th for Andrew Landis. And at second base is Brooks Farrell. So he'll take over in the 5 spot for Carson Bevel. The first pitch is in from first baseman Jackson Yeager. He gets a chance on the mound as he deals to Kason Ludeman. So Cole Mayberry's day is done. And it's a 1-1 count. Going to University of Sioux Falls is Jackson Yeager. He told me that before the game, so that's a little bit different than McCook Community College, as we've been saying all year. He gets a pitch fouled back. So Mayberry goes an inning and 2/3 in relief of Alejandro Castillo. He gave up 1 hit. Outside of that, it was nothing else, no runs. This pitch is popped up in the outfield. Going out is Brooks Farrell, the second baseman. He makes the play on the move in front of Ethan Mooser. Wyatt Buckley had no idea where that ball was behind the plate. I looked up and thought it was a foul ball and saw Farrell running after that one. Also, Aiden Young is over at first base in relief of Brody Fanistock. No walks for Cole Mayberry and a strikeout. So a pretty good job in his inning in 2/3. Yeager deals a breaking ball. That one is ball 1. It looked like it caught the zone to Ryan Barnes, who reached on an error his last time and scored and walked his first time up. This one is spiked up there to Yeager. 2-0 is the count. Playing in the top of the 7th inning of exhibition baseball. We've had an intern after a starter, and now we have our first baseman pitching. So Burgess is still at third. That's still Rowan O'Connor out there at short, with Brooks Farrell at second base and Aiden Young at first base. We go right to left in the outfield. Mooser, Weiland, and it's Garen Gledhill now, instead of Andrew Landis, who previously was there. This pitch is grounded foul, wide of Aiden Young at first base, and it goes to 3-2 now on Ryan Barnes. This pitch is grounded over towards O'Connor. Keeps his glove down, throws on the run, and makes a good throw over there to first base. And that records the second out. Top of the order, and Cody Vandergroff is batting next. It's a first pitch breaking ball for Jackson Yeager with 2 outs as he looks to get a 1-2-3 inning here in the 7th inning. He deals to Cody Vandergroff, who singled his last time. This ball's over to the newly entered Brooks Farrell at second base, who also throws to the newly entered Aiden Young at first base. It's a 1-2-3 inning for maybe our newfound pitcher, Jackson Yeager, and usually a first baseman. It's time to stretch here at Oregon Trail Park. Pioneers still trail 5-1. Batting now is Aiden Young. He came into the game for Brody Fanistock. So Aiden Young, who's coming off a double and a triple last night, steps to the plate now for his first at-bat as he replaces Fanistock. Jake Green is at 82 pitches. As he deals pitch number 83 as he starts the 7th inning. The longest that any pitcher has gone so far this year in any game that we've had here for the Western Nebraska Pioneers. As he deals to Aiden Young, another pitch that's cut on and missed. So Aiden Young is quickly down 0-2 in the count. Oh, 2 on the Albuquerque, New Mexico native. He swings and foul tips. It is not held on behind the plate, or not caught by Ryan Clark. And staying alive is Young. Pioneers are down 5-1 in an exhibition game here against the Australian Select Colts. A slider too far outside on pitch number 86 from Green. As he's creeping up there, his arms are starting to throw in the pen for the Select Colts. It's a 1-2 count on Aiden Young. You're leading off after the 7th inning stretch. We play in the bottom of inning number 7. That pitch is cut on and missed. Down on strikes is Young. He is out number 1. As starting the 7th inning is Green here, and he's now through 6 1/3 against the Pioneers right now. Wyatt Buckley gets the third at-bat of the day. Of course, he started behind the plate. That's where he still is. He's caught an intern, a typical starter, and a first baseman so far today with the Pioneers, trying to save their arms as they have so many games in so many days coming up after the exhibition game today. Greeley for 2, a day off. Hayes for 2, Colorado Rough Riders for 3 is the series next weekend. So important games for the Pioneers, not just in terms of who they are playing, but also in the league schedule, and they're all at home. So we'll have it here on the YouTube page of the Western Nebraska Pioneers. And if you're listening on KNEB Radio, you know myself, Jeffrey Nelson, will always be here. The Sterling, Colorado native takes a breaking ball, and he's behind in the count 1-2 now after taking the first pitch for a strike and then taking a pitch low that just missed the zone from Green. But behind 1-2 is Buckley now as he looks to get on base. And that pitch is on the outside corner. Ooh, that pitch looked close. Immediately saying outside is the home plate umpire, and that one just must have missed the plate by about an inch or so. So it's 2-2 on Buckley, the right-handed swinging catcher at Garden City Community College. And the 2-2 is cut on and missed. That's back-to-back strikeouts. Tally him up really quickly. He's had 3 in the last 2 innings on top of the 6 he had already. That's 9 strikeouts for Jake Green so far today as he looks to get through 7 innings, and in his way is Rowan O'Connor. Seattle, Washington's own O'Connor. Seattle, of course, home to Pike Marketplace, one of the best marketplaces, and they're home to the Flying Fish, of course, where you can catch the fish at Pike Marketplace. Pike Place Market, I should say. 1-0 is the count on Rowan O'Connor, the Gonzaga University Bulldog. Takes and swings a 1-0 and misses the 1-0 pitch from Green as it was a fastball up in the zone. 5 hours across the state for O'Connor from Seattle to Spokane, where Gonzaga University is located on the east coast of Washington. Fouling this pitch off is, I shouldn't say coast because it's not a coast for Washington, but on the eastern part of Washington, as it's 1-2 on O'Connor as he fouls the pitch back. And looking to get through 7 innings of work is Jake Green, the 24-year-old on the mound for the Colts. Has saved arms for them, certainly, as they travel the country. The 1-2, he K'd the side, did Jake Green. And the Pioneers are down here 1-2-3 in the 7th inning, and that should do it for Jake Green. He's up above 90 pitches, and the Pioneers trail at the end of 7, 5-1. So we start the top of the 8th inning. Saw Buckley last inning behind the plate, but it's Jin Kobayakawa, the Yokosuka, Japan native, was going to be a freshman at WNCC, which is Western Nebraska Community College up north in Scotts Bluff. Well, I say up north, but it's only 10 minutes away. It's just the next town over as we're in Gehring. First pitch by Durbin, who is a switch hitter. He's swinging right-handed this time just to get some work in, is the right-handed swinging shortstop. The young kid, who's just 15, is a switch hitter who flies out to Cole Weiland out there in center to start inning number 8. And Ryan Clark will step to the plate now against the Omaha, Nebraska native, Jackson Yeager, who's still on the mound here for the Pioneers. First pitch, strike from Yeager. Second pitch, fouled off. Oh-2 is hitting the air to right. Mooser is there. He's in his tracks as he moves into his left a little bit. Makes the play. 2 flyouts for Yeager. He's retired all 5 batters he faced so far. A couple other people throwing. I want to say it's Bryce Peterson and somebody else down there. They're blocking my view, but I could see the 26 in Peterson, who's down by the plate side of the bullpen. A breaking ball from Yeager's in there for strike 1 to Gabriel Vaillancourt, who so far on the day is 0 for 3. He's grounded out to short and second and lined out to Rowan O'Connor. This pitch not caught by Kobayakawa. Boy, taking a beating back there is the home plate umpire. He got hit in a spot that you don't like earlier. And now this pitch not caught by Kobayakawa either got a piece of his leg or the foot there for the home plate umpire, who I believe is Scott Summerfield back there. Coach Jay brings out a couple new baseballs. Well, there's not much he can say to Jin that Jin will understand because Jin does not speak a whole lot of English yet. So even if he's frustrated at Jin behind the plate for not catching it, I'm not sure what he should be saying to the Japanese native. Yeager deals a pitch that is fouled off on the 0-2 pitch. So it's 1-2 on Vaillancourt with Kai Chapelski on deck, who's taken over for Lachlan Forder. The pitch is on the outside corner, just missed it, Yeager. Boy, that was a good breaking ball, similar to a slider there for Yeager. No idea what his arsenal contains, but I know it's a breaking ball out there. Either way, the count is 1-2 as he deals, and it's a fastball grounded. Oh, athlete on the mound is Yeager as he snares that comebacker from Vaillancourt. He takes it over towards first and flips it to Aiden Young. Another 1-2-3 inning for Yeager. 6 up, 6 down for the big fella on the mound from Omaha, Nebraska. We head to the bottom of the 8th. The Pioneers are down 5-1. There will be a new arm on the mound for the Colts. back here as we get set to start the bottom of the 8th. And finally, Jake Green is out of the game if you're a fan of the Pioneers. By the way, he did not walk a single guy, and he struck out 9 on over 90 pitches for the right-hander, who's 24 years old, who turns the ball over to Jack Chapleski. So apologies to Kai Chapleski, as I've been pronouncing his name wrong. And finally, as his brother comes into the ball game, I realize that I've been saying it wrong. Chapleski is how you spell the Chapleski's last name. So Jack Chapleski will pitch with his brother Kai Chapleski in right field, and Garen Gledhill will be the first batter that the left-hander Chapleski faces. First pitch from the lefty is in the dirt. It's 1-0. Second pitch, grounded over towards short, and he picked up his glove, did Durbin, and that ball went underneath his glove, and it'll be an E6. As Gledhill reaches here in the bottom of the 8th, in front of E.J. Barnes in the top of the order for the Pioneers. San Diego native and the Spartan from San Jose State. And a right-handed hitting typical shortstop, who's the designated hitter today, takes a first pitch from Chapleski inside, 1-0. See if the Pioneers can start a rally here as they've finally gotten Green out of the game, or I should say Green has finally come out of the game after being over 90 pitches. Chapleski deals a hard fastball that's outside. It's 2-0 to Barnes. 3 for 3 last night, 0 for 3 tonight. Hey, that's still hitting 500 over the last 2 days if you're E.J. Barnes. So he's hitting 3 for his last 6. And he's up in the leadoff spot tonight. 5 on 5. Jack Chapleski wearing the number 5 in the white jerseys for the Australian Select Colts. 2-0 count on Barnes with the pink arm sleeve on his right arm. He takes a pitch down low. He always wears that pink arm sleeve on his throwing arm. The designated hitter has a 3-0 count at the plate against the left-hander Chapleski. And the 3-0 misses the zone. It's a 4-pitch walk. And 2 runners are on here for the Pioneers here in the bottom of inning number 8. Means Cooper Burgess comes to the plate with a couple runners on as he bats now with Gledhill on second and Barnes on first. And Burgess, 1 for 3 on the day, had an RBI single off of Green and brought home the only run of the day for the Pioneers as they trail 5-1 in the bottom of inning number 8. Fastball just a bit low there, below the knees of Burgess. Couple of lefties in a row, Burgess and Mooser, the next 2 batters for the Pioneers, as they have nobody out here in the bottom of the 8th, trail by 4 and look to get back into this ball game. That pitch is at the knees on the outside corner for a strike to Cooper Burgess. Burgess swings it from the left side. Of course, he previously went to Paris JUCO, still looking for a new school is Cooper Burgess. And he has a 2-1 count, and now it is 1-1, and now it is 2-1 as he takes it low on the pitch from Chapleski. Gledhill with his lead off a second, and Barnes off a first. A big swing and a miss from Burgess as the count goes to 2-2 now on the left-handed swinging third baseman for the Pios. Chapleski, the lefty, looks to record his first out here in the bottom half of inning number 8. Grounder over towards first. Vandergraaf, and it took a hop off of the lip of the grass, went over the glove of Vandergraaf. It stays in the infield as Ludeman did a good job of backing up his first baseman. but a bad hop and an unfortunate play for Vandergraaf over there at first base, which in my opinion, that is not his fault at all. It took a weird hop at the last second and just hopped over his glove like it was a remote-controlled baseball out there. And surely it would have been Burgess controlling that baseball because he's the one who stands on first now after what it will probably go down as an error, but an unfortunate error for the young Cody Vandergraaf. And now the bases will be loaded for Ethan Mooser. Ethan Mooser, the left-handed swinging outfielder. So far, he has 2 hits today. He was 2 for 2 before he struck out against Green. Bases loaded, nobody out, bottom of inning number 8. First pitch outside corner to Moose, and it is 0-1 now on the Northern Colorado Bear. Young kid that had the opportunity to play against the Golden Spikes Award winner, Charlie Condon, down in Georgia at the beginning of his college season. That pitch hit Moser. Yes, it did. It's an RBI on the hit by pitch. That brings home a run. The Pioneers close it. One more run, as it's now 5-2. So Mooser stands on first. Touching home is Gledhill. It's a 5-2 ball game here. As Cole Weiland steps to the plate with the bases loaded as well. Weiland so far today, he's 0 for 3. He had a strikeout in the first, flew out to right, and popped out to short. That pitch hit him in the foot. Oh boy. Chapleski, not able to get control of his fastball here. Back-to-back hit by pitches on back-to-back pitches, and 2 more runs come home to score. The Pioneers have scored 2 here. And now they're within 2. As E.J. Barnes scores on the hit by pitch of Weiland. Going to the mound and going to a pitching change. And seemingly they might turn to the brother, or they're just calling him into the infield, as Clenert will go out to right field. So the second baseman, Ludeman, who threw a lot of pitches yesterday, interestingly enough. Or is it Durbin? I believe it's going to be Zach Durbin. The 15-year-old is going to come on to pitch. So we'll have to figure out all these changes. Kai Chapleski is in the infield now. I believe he's going to be at shortstop. Clenert is out in right. As we have a pitching change, and it's Zach Durbin. The switch hitting shortstop will try to do even more than he already has done so far for his team. Going 0 innings, as he didn't record an out. Of course, one of his runs so far is unearned, and another one out there is on another error. He didn't give up a hit, but he walked 3, did Jack Chapleski, as he turns things over to Zach Durbin. I believe Kai Chapleski is going to be at shortstop. And Gavin Clenert went out into right field. As Durbin came into the ball game as the pitcher. Still trying to figure out who came out of the ball game. It was the pitcher, of course, but if you're entering Clenert, it means you're getting rid of your designated hitter, Jackson Frame. So we're just about set now as Zach Durbin's done with his warm-up pitches, and the batter will be Brooks Farrell, who will get his first at-bat with the bases loaded and the Pioneers down 5-3. Swinging at the first pitch is Farrell. Ludeman is at shortstop. Chapleski, that's Kai Chapleski. That name is a mouthful, and it's giving me trouble. Is the second baseman now as he comes in from right field. This pitch is a wild pitch. It goes under the glove of Ryan Clark. He flips to the pitcher. Durbin covering. It's not in time. Coming home to score was Burgess. It's 5-4 now. Everybody else moves up as well as they run the bases quite well and follow Burgess, who scores. So Ludeman is the shortstop. It's a 1-1 count on Farrell. That pitch is in there for a strike. So Ludeman's at short. Chapelski went from right to second base. And in for the designated hitter in right field is Clenert. Pitch is in the dirt. It's 2-2 now to Farrell. We have a 5-4 ball game. It was 5-1, but the Pioneers have come roaring back here in the eighth inning. And the infield is in for the select Colts as Brooks Farrell, has a 2-2 count against the new pitcher on the mound and the young 15-year-old Zach Durbin. That pitch is in there. It's called strike 3. Brooks Farrell can't believe it as he is set down on strikes for the first out here in the inning. And Aiden Young will be the batter as he took over for Brody Fanistock. It's 8:42 local time. We might be in inning number 8, but we're 2 hours into this contest. Swinging at that first pitch is Aiden Young. As it's still 81 degrees out here at 8:42 as the sun is setting. It's 0-1 on Aiden Young. We're in the bottom of inning number 8. Second and third. The go-ahead run is at second base. Young takes low. It's 1-1 now to the Albuquerque, New Mexico native. Good friends with Ronan Hella as they grew up playing club ball together. Heard about that on the Extra Innings show yesterday afternoon at Flyover Brewing Company. 1-1 count on Young. Pitch just missed the knees and the outside corner, and the count is 2-1 on the first baseman. 2-1 pitch from Zach Durbin in relief of Chapleski. And it's outside. And it's 3-1, a favorable count for Aiden Young. Swing and a fly ball in foul territory going over is Vandergraaf. It's in the playground down the first baseline. It's a full count on Aiden Young as he bats with runners on second and third, the tying and go-ahead runs, and the full count pitch from Durbin. Fouled off out of play, first base side once again. So the count remains 3-2. So we'll do it again at 3-2. The right-handed swinging Young. He's ready for the pitch from Durbin, and he hits a fly ball to right. Going back is the newly entered Clenert. He's there. This should tie the ball game. Oh, boy, did he leave a little bit early, Cole Weiland? I don't think anybody saw, but he might have left slightly early over there. Either way, a sack fly and an RBI for Aiden Young. And this ball game is tied at 5. Weiland moved over to third on the play. Coming home to score was Mooser. And Yokosuka Japan's Jin Kobayakawa takes a first pitch strike from Durbin as he bats for the first time, having entered the game for Gledhill last inning. Fouled off to the right side. It's 1-1. Oh, 0-2, pardon me, is the count on Jin. Pitch is up high. It's 1-2. A 1-2 count from Durbin. Oh boy, he just missed the zone, just a tad low to Kobayakawa, who has a good eye there. Hearing it from the first base, from the coach in the first base coach's box. In the first base dugout is the home plate umpire. 2-2 to Kobayakawa. A late swing as he gets part of the screen behind the plate. So he stays alive at 2-2 with the go-ahead run. Cole Weiland standing at third base. We're in the bottom of the 8th. The Pioneers have scored 4 and tied this ball game at 5. Kobayakawa getting his first at-bat of the day. This 2-2 is up high. 3-2 from Durbin. Playing exhibition baseball between the Australian Select Colts and the Western Nebraska Pioneers here at Oregon Trail Park, as the Pioneers were behind 5-1 after winning last night 11-2. And now they've tied the ball game here in the bottom of the 8th, and the 2-2 to Kobayakawa stays alive as he fouls it off out of play again, first base side. So he has a full count at the plate. Durbin, the young 15-year-old who was the shortstop, has come in to pitch, and he deals and he fouls it off out of play once again. Pitch fouled off of Kobayakawa in the box. He stays alive, having a great at-bat at the plate. Bottom of inning number 8 here as you listen to Pioneers Baseball on KNEB Radio and on the Western Nebraska Pioneers YouTube page. The Pioneers have tied the game at 5 between the Pioneers and the Australian Select Colts. Zach Durbin gets ready to deal his payoff pitch on the mound. He gets his sign from his catcher Clark and deals a fastball, and caught looking is Kobayakawa to end the inning. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Durbin, but the Pioneers get 4 runs on no hits at all, and 2 errors in the inning and a runner stranded at third. That was the go-ahead run, but at the end of 8, we're tied at 5. New pitcher on the mound for the Pioneers as Rowan O'Connor fields the ground ball from Kai Chapleski is Francisco Laya as he pitches now. As we knew that there were going to be position players pitching here, we had to go fix some stuff in the changes in the system online to make sure that we're not here all night. But that's all right. There were a lot of changes that we did not understand that went on last inning for the select Colts, as Ethan Ward is one that has not changed. Francisco Laya on the mound from La Guaira, Venezuela. Jackson Yeager went 2 innings, didn't give up anything. Didn't get a strikeout either, as Laya deals a pitch that's cut on and missed by Ethan Ward. We play in the top of the 9th. We're now tied at 5. Laya looking to keep this game tied and give the Pioneers a chance to get a walk-off in the bottom of the 9th. A breaking ball from Laya, and he gets the call from the home plate umpire, even though Kobayakawa didn't catch it. I don't know if he signaled for a breaking ball, but Laya threw it. Kobayakawa went to go catch it. It went off of his glove. And the count is 0-2 on Ethan Ward. Breaking ball, yes he did. It's strike 3 anyways. Down on strikes is Ethan Ward here as he's the second out here in the top of the 9th. Gavin Clenert entered the ball game last inning as the right fielder when they brought in their shortstop, Durbin. So Durbin went from shortstop to the mound. Ludeman, who's on deck, went from second to short. Chapleski, who went from right to second base, that's Kai Chapleski, who we saw as the first batter of the inning. And Gavin Clenert was entered as the right fielder as he takes ball 1 from Francisco Laya. It's Burgess, O'Connor, Farrell, and Young, Mooser, Weiland, and Gledhill, right to left in the outfield. Third to first in the infield with Kobayakawa catching ball 2 to Gavin Clenert from Francisco Laya. Time called. Thought Clenert might have not been feeling well, but here he is. And yesterday, Clenert, I believe, was wearing number 42. Today, he wears number 6. Pitch is outside. It's 3-0 from La Bestia, Francisco Laya, as he likes to be called, which means the Beast in Spanish. Pitch is bounced on 2 hops to O'Connor. Throwing his hands in the air is Laya because he knows O'Connor's fielding that ball cleanly and throwing over to first. We head to the bottom of the 9th. We're tied at 5. Pioneers looking for a walk-off here in exhibition game 2. All right, let's go win a ball game, boys. Well, we start the bottom of the 9th here. Rowan O'Connor will lead it off with Garen Gledhill and E.J. Barnes to follow. And I have no idea if we'll play extra innings here since it is an exhibition game. But what I do know is if the Pioneers score here, they win because it's the bottom of the 9th inning as O'Connor takes ball 1 from the young Zach Durbin. Up high was the pitch from the typical shortstop as he's played shortstop in all 16 innings as he's on the mound now here in the bottom of the ninth, and he took over on the mound in the bottom of the eighth. And rather, it's not 16 innings, it would be 14 because we only played 7 last night. Now the pitch to O'Connor is cut on and missed by the Seattle Washington native, and it's 1-1. He's one of the newest Pioneers. The other one was in the 9 spot behind O'Connor. That's Andrew Landis. Swinging and missing at that pitch is O'Connor. It's 1-2 now. Scoreboard has it as 2-2. Connor has been smooth over there at shortstop so far today, looking to get on off of Durbin here. That pitch just missed the zone. The Pioneers have struck out 11 times today, 9 times against the starter Jake Green, and 2 times against Durbin so far. As the 3-2, he's down on strikes as O'Connor. That's the 3rd strikeout for Zach Durbin, who's throwing hard out there on the mound, or at least with enough velocity to get the Pioneers off balance. Now the batter will be Garen Gledhill as the Pioneers looking to walk things off here in the bottom of the 9th. First pitch from Gledhill is grounded foul, first base side, wide of the bag. That pitch misses the zone. It's 1-1. Swing and a miss from Gledhill, and it's 1-2 now. Playing the bottom of the 9th, we're tied at 5. It's a 1-2 count on Garen Gledhill. He takes a pitch on the thigh, and he's on with a hit-by pitch as he is the go-ahead and winning run here. We'll see if they run for him at all. No, they're going to leave him out there at first. The typical catcher will not have anybody run for him. Of course, he's the left fielder right now, so it's not like he can get a courtesy runner like Cole Mayberry was earlier in the game for Wyatt Buckley. However, E.J. Barnes will step to the plate. He has a home run this year. It was a grand slam back in the beginning of June in late May. And the right-handed swinging designated hitter today as the go-ahead and winning run at first base. It's the Pios bat here in the 9th. He swings at the first pitch, pops it up. It's in foul territory, and going over is Clark by the Pios dugout. And, in fact, the ball lands in the dugout as going to the ground is Clark. And it will just land as strike 1 on E.J. Barnes. A good effort from Clark there at keeping the ball in play and potentially making a play on that ball, but it had a lot of backspin on it. The 0-1 is flared down the right field line into the bullpen of the Colts, where there is no action, of course. This is a team with about 15 players on their roster. Most of the guys, they just switch around positions, and everybody plays multiple positions. Pitch is high, so the count goes to 1-2. On E.J. Barnes. Swing and a line drive, base hit left field. E.J. Barnes is on as he tries to get the Pioneers into scoring position, and that's exactly what he does, rather, as Garen Gledhill moves up to second base as the winning run now in front of Cooper Burgess, who has a chance to win the game or pass the baton on to Ethan Mooser, who bats behind Berg. pitching mound visit. He's going to the mound to talk to Durbin. He's the coach for the select Colts here. As he jogs back to the dugout now. And coming to the plate will be Cooper Burgess with E.J. Barnes and Garen Gledhill on base. Cooper Burgess swings it from the left side, and he has a chance to win the ball game with the outfield shaded towards right, and the left fielder playing straight away. There's a big gap in left center for Berg. A ground ball up the middle or any hit to the outfield has a good chance of doing so, but instead he takes ball one up high. As the fans wait for the excitement and the chance to win a ball game. The 1-0 is fouled back. It's an early swing from Cooper Burgess. There's some smoke building. I don't know whether it's from the grill, but it's in right field. It's slowly making its way across the field. It might cause some trouble on a fly ball, or it might help him out. Either way, this pitch is on the inside corner, and it's 1-2. Time called at the plate. Durbin had just lifted his leg and was ready to come home with the pitch. Instead, time is called as Berg looks to calm himself there as he has a chance to win the ball game for the Pioneers here in the bottom of the ninth. But he has a 1-2 count at the plate with one out. Gledhill leads off a second. Barnes off a first. That pitch is inside. It's 2-2 now from Durbin, the right-hander, on the mound, who's been the shortstop the entirety of the two games in the exhibition series. Now, following will be the Greeley Grays, who come into town tomorrow for a 5:05 game, and Monday's game is at 6:35. And an off day Tuesday, but Wednesday through Saturday are 6:35 games against the Hayes Larks and the Colorado Rough Riders. Berg swings at that pitch outside of the zone, maybe caused to swing by the home plate umpire, calling a couple pitches outside of the zone for strikes. And he's down on strikes, and that brings in Ethan Mooser, who will be the chance before we go to extras. If we do, might be the last chance of the ball game, but he has a chance to still win the ball game for the Western Nebraska Pioneers. Mooser was hit by a pitch and got an RBI out of it, so a little bit of pain, but a lot of gain for Mooser. Swings at the first pitch and lines it over the press box and out of play for strike one. He's the second to last batter that has not faced Durbin yet, as Cole Weiland will be the last batter that hasn't faced Durbin, and Weiland waits on deck. See if Mooser even gives him a chance to hit. If he can win the game himself, he will. Swings and fouls this one out of play behind the plate, 0-2 as he looks up in the air. Frustrated he missed that pitch, so he had an opportunity to drive a ball there. As he's behind in the count, 0-2 now with two outs. We're in the bottom of the ninth. The 0-2. Durbin checks Gledhill at second. Deals an 0-2. Lined in the air to deep right field and back. Esta pelota se fue. It lands off the wall out there in right field. But Ethan Mooser, that ball is gone. It's a home run. Mooser's rounding the bases. Here comes Barnes. Here comes Moose. He lands on the plate. That's your ball game. Pios win it 8-5. What a swing for Mooser. It's hard to tell out there in right. Glenert has the ball, so it was a single. It's a single for Mooser. It's a walk-off single for Ethan Mooser. He gets an RBI. He won't be happy to hear that that ball didn't leave the yard. But an RBI, a win for the Pios. And they win this one 6-5 as they cause some excitement in the exhibition game. We'll see if they shake hands with the Colts. It's been a great series and a great opportunity for these Australian select Colts to learn from playing the games against these college kids that we have here in Gehring on the Western Nebraska Pioneers. And the Pios get another win. So they add some momentum as they welcome the Greeley Grays into town tomorrow. Of course, as I mentioned, we'll start at 5:05. So pregame will be at 4:50. Ethan Mooser still doesn't know yet. I don't think he knows that it's a walk-off single, but who cares? The Pioneers get the win. A walk-off single for Ethan Mooser to right. Scored Garen Gledhill, who comes home with the winning run after being advanced by E.J. Barnes and being at second base there with 2 outs. It's a heck of an at-bat for Ethan Mooser as he wins it for the Pioneers as he was down in the count 0-2 as the teams shake hands. And that'll do it here at Oregon Trail Park. When we come back, we'll get ready to start the Runs of Post game. Going to send it to another break, unfortunately, but the Pioneers are winners 6-5. Ethan Mooser with what ends up being a walk-off single as that ball was fielded by Gavin Clenert out by the Runza and 362 sign out there in right center field. I think everybody else still thinks it's a walk-off home run, but I'm 95% sure it was a single. Who cares? Pioneers win 6-5. They win 2 in a row, once 11-2 in a 7-game series, and now they win this one 6-5 here against the Australian Select Colts here at Oregon Trail Park as they get set to go back to league play and play the Greeley Grays. We'll come back after another break and break down the Runs of Post game and this 2-game series and the upcoming rest of the homestand for the Western Nebraska Pioneers. Yes, sir, of course. Absolutely. Well, we're back here at Oregon Trail Park. Jeffrey Nelson here with you as we get set to start the Runs of Post game, as All I Do Is Win is playing in the background here at Oregon Trail Park, because right now the Pioneers are doing that at home, and they were stymied by Jake Green, who went 7 innings, 4 hits, 1 run. 1 run was earned. He had 9 strikeouts and no walks out there on the mound, and Jack Czapleski didn't get an out against the Pioneers, but he was relieved by Zach Durbin, who went an inning and 2/3 and was 1 out away, in fact 1 strike away from sending this game to extra innings. Now Francisco Laya also pitched an inning on the mound, nothing to cross of course, and he did get a strikeout. But in my opinion, Jake Green was the player of the day. He shut down this Pioneers offense as this game went a little bit under 3 hours. It ended around 9:08, making this game a 2-hour and 32-minute ball game in which the Pioneers win 6-5. Now, Jackson Yeager gets credit with the win for the Pioneers. Francisco Laya gets the win. He was the last pitcher when the game was tied, and the Pioneers walked it off in the bottom of the 9th inning. So Francisco Laya gets credit with the win. We'll see how happy he is about that. And unfortunately for Zach Durbin, he gets the loss, as he ended up giving up the walk-off hit to Ethan Mooser from Mount Elgin, Ontario, as he comes through for the Pioneers in the bottom of the 9th inning with the win. Now, the Pioneers had 1 run across those 7 innings against Jake Green. That came in the 3rd inning after it was a single to center by Andrew Landis, one of the newest Pioneers, leading off the ball game. A ground ball to short from E.J. Barnes, and Landis moved up to second. And then he was singled home by Cooper Burgess, who got an RBI, as he got the opportunity batting second on the day and playing third base for the Pioneers. And Berg also got on base in the 8th inning when the Pioneers had 4 hits. He was fortunate enough to get on base via an error, and a rough error to be credited to the third baseman, Cody Vandergroff, in that situation. But overall, this Australian Select Colts team, I think they're enjoying playing the game of baseball. It might be frustrating as they lost both games here at Oregon Trail Park, but to be able to learn and be able to get better and play wood bat against kids that are in the game of college baseball must be something that they enjoy. And for the kids who are 24, well, they're still playing baseball, so there's no complaining from them. But kids like Zach Durbin, who's 15, and kids like Kai Czapleski, who are 16 and 17, as well as Ryan Barnes, who just turned 17, well, it's an opportunity for them to learn. They're juniors and seniors going into high school, and when they go back to school in Australia, well, they'll be better than some kids because of the opportunities that they had here in the United States. As for your Western Nebraska Pioneers, you know that, well, we're home starting yesterday for 10 games in 11 days, ending on July 1st before we go to Denver. Now, as I've been talking about, the Greeley Grays come into town to continue league play tomorrow and Monday. Tomorrow is at 5:05 p.m. here Mountain Time. Again, that's 5:05 Mountain Time, an hour and a half earlier than we typically start here on KNEB Radio and on the Western Nebraska Pioneers YouTube page. And then we'll have a day off on Tuesday and continue with 5-6 games in a row from that Wednesday until Monday, July 1st, between the Hayes Larks, the Colorado Rough Riders, and the U.S. military team, which again will be an exhibition game for the Pioneers. So 5 league games tacked on to the 2 league games before the off day makes it 7 league games in the next 8 days for the Pioneers. And those games will be so important. And Coach Jay O'Connor said it doesn't really define the season, but it's a great time for these guys to get back on track to where they've been in the past. As the Pioneers improved to 10-2 at home, they are 1-7 on the road, giving them an overall record of 11-9 as they win the 2 exhibition games. Now, they'll turn their attention tomorrow to Greeley, and the games will become serious again. And we won't see position players, coaches, or interns like we've seen in the past, like Cole Mayberry, the intern that pitched for the Pioneers today and had a lot of fun, I'm sure, being on the field. As for myself, Jeffrey Nelson, and our sideline reporter, Anna Semba, we hope that you enjoy your night here on KNEB Radio, 960 AM and 100.3 FM. And if you're on the Western Nebraska Pioneers YouTube page, we hope that you come back and watch the stream tomorrow at 5:05 when the Pioneers take on the Greeley Grays right here from Oregon Trail Park. And that'll do it for us here on KNEB Radio and on the Western Nebraska Pioneers YouTube page. The Pioneers win this one 6-5 on a walk-off from Ethan Mooser as they finish up their 2-game exhibition series with the Australian Select Colts. Everybody have a good night.